Hey.
Good morning. I'm Alonzo McAdoo, and I'm an administrator in the Central Texas area. And this is my partner here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Dr. Dominguez. I am currently working as an assistant principal in a small 2A school district in Texas.
Thank you, Dr. Dominguez, for sharing it. So, our presentation today is really centered around AI and leading with AI, how administrators can leverage AI for school improvement. And what we'd like to do is go through a couple of slides. I don't know, would you be able to put this in presentation format? Thank you. And what we'd like to do is kind of give you an idea of how you can use it, give you some practical ways, and then probably go through a couple of real world scenarios at the end. But by the time we reach the end, I'm actually going to leave you with something that's going to enhance your opportunity to use AI to learn. Okay, that's going to be my primary focus. And so I hope you have a chance to just sit through this part and then know by the time we reach the end, I'm going to actually share my screen and take you to an online resource that I use on a day-to-day that better equips me as an educational leader to be able to grasp a lot of the concepts of things that are changing throughout our educational landscape. So, if you could, we'll move on. So, when we talk about AI, I believe we all need to be honest. Time is the most valuable resource we have as school leaders. And there's one that we never really have enough. And I'm sure if I could see all of your faces, we would all agree that when we look at our calendars, they're packed with either meetings, walkthroughs, student concerns, emails, reports. Don't forget fire drills, right? Literally and figuratively. They come up all the time. And then there's that last minute staffing issue that comes across your desk. And so in these constant pressures to keep things moving, we often lose time for what really drives school improvement. And that is being in the classrooms, coaching teachers, building culture, and developing long term strategies. But if you could buy back those hours without adding staff or sacrificing quality, that's where AI becomes a powerful partner. And I want to make sure I emphasize that because I know in today's landscape, and I might echo this throughout the entire presentation, that many people believe or have an idea that AI might be the enemy, might be replacing. But right now, where I sit is that AI is a strong partner to have and helps you build and develop long-term strategies of success. But moving forward, I'd like to just encourage you to think of AI as a digital assistant. And this assistant, I don't know if you see the clock, but this is an assistant that works 24/7. It doesn't take lunch break, and it helps you with the heavy lifting behind the scenes. So when we say work smarter, not harder, and me and Dr. Dominguez, we both believe this, we mean using our AI tools to help optimize our time and possibly save us energy. So what is AI? We could go to this. What is it? And how can it help the school administrator? Well, very first beginning, artificial intelligence, so AI, refers to computer systems designed to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. These tasks include recognizing patterns, making predictions, generating text, translating languages, and even simulating conversations. In a school setting, this could look like an AI tool drafting your weekly newsletter in both English and Spanish. How many hours, if you've been in education, and I wish I could get a poll real quick of how many educators or how long each of you have been in education for a while, because you can actually spend a lot of time just drafting your weekly newsletter, making sure you have all those components. And then you even have things like the ability that AI brings is the ability to identify which students are most at risk or falling behind using multiple data points, and even provide suggestive interventions for those students. And AI provides a platform for summarizing your classroom walkthrough notes. It can help you write meaningful teacher feedback aligned to your evaluation framework. So I don't know which state you might be working at. I see Illinois here and even Wyoming. Whichever framework you're using, AI can take that information uh, and take your observational notes and help guide you with a level of feedback that you provide for your teachers. And the beauty of AI isn't just its speed, but it's its scalability. Uh, what used to take an hour can now take a minute. What used to require a team can now be initiated with a prompt. Oh, do we have the poll feature? Because I would like to know if anyone actually incorporates AI right now to do some of the things that we're speaking. And Dr. Dominguez, while you look through that, I'll move on to our next.
Okay, I think in order for me to do that, to figure out a poll, I would have to unshare, right? Like get out of that view because I'm sharing my screen. I'm not sure. You want me to find a way to poll the audience?
Just curious. Oh, you know what? Can anyone can in the
Use the chat feature?
yes in the chat feature, if you could share with us any type of way in which you're utilizing AI at this time. Right. So moving forward, daily tasks and that drain our time. Uh, as administrators, and I hope we all are, let's take a moment to reflect on the tasks that consume our time each day. Like, how many hours do we lose to checking and replying to emails, or tracking down substitute teachers, reviewing lesson plans, preparing feedback for teachers, things of that nature? I can tell you right now, if you're not familiar with the use of Grammarly, Grammarly has an AI feature that you can add as an extension, and it can help with your quick level responses in your emails, provide your teachers, staff members with immediate feedback that allows you to flow through your documents a lot smoother. And many of us in education, you know, when we started, we inspired to lead others and not be bogged down with documentation. And I believe that this is the opportunity for us to capitalize on AI. We can use it. Okay. So time.
Hey, I was gonna let you know that we did get a response in the chat, and it says it was from Shannon, who said that she's anxious to see some of the things that were mentioned so she can take it back to her admin team.
All right.
And then Steven said that he uses it to make presentations, calendar scheduling, emails, Perplexity for rescheduling, notebook for summarizing.
Okay. So I think I might jump right into it because I know we have a short time and this may raise some questions. But here's the link at. I'm going to try to put this in the chat so everyone can utilize it. And I hope y'all appreciate this. This is just one AI. I believe everybody's familiar with Chat GPT or Hey, you know, Siri or things of that nature. I want to give you something else that you may not be aware of. So I'm gonna enter this into the chat.
Is it the link on the last slide?
Yes, and I'll put it in the chat too.
Okay, there it is.
All right. I'm gonna get right to the bread and butter. So this is Notebook LM. How many people are familiar with this? Let me see. If you can respond in the chat, because I don't see one.
I went to a
One.
presentation yesterday on it. That's my knowledge.
Okay.
It's interesting.
You went. Okay. This is a game changer. All right. Now we know that AI can enhance our workspace features, and I was going to go through a whole spiel with you on that. But I think it's two parts that I want to share this with you, and Dr. Dominguez would like to share how translation and multilingual communications in that aspect, and possibly open up for discussion. So if you hit the create button, there's in Texas, there's a new bill, and if you could open up a new window, go to House Bill 1605. We're gonna look at this. This is a new bill in Texas. So, oh, you know what? So this is an actual bill. Could you do something for me, Dr. Mills? Can you copy like that bill? What it said? Oh, you know what? View HB. Yeah, wait. Let's copy that part. Let's go with that. All right, and we go back to the website, Untitled Notebook there, and it says that paste feature. Let's go ahead and paste that there. This is my favorite new app. And I'm sharing this with you because I believe as administrative leaders, we often ask the teachers to be lifelong learners, to be in PLCs, learning what they need to do and all those things. But I think this is a feature that helps us as educators continue to learn while we're still in the workspace, and trying to gather our students. So this feature, what we just did, we just pasted in the text, and right now it's asking us if we want to add a note, an audio overview, a mind map. And one of the things that I do is from that text, I just hit the button study guide on the far right. And all right, Steve, I see you familiar with it. Yes. So this is pretty cool, where you can automatically have notes generated, quiz to be able to study, answer key. We have that ready for us, essay format questions that we can use to help us study, right? And get prepared over these types of topics. But then, if you could hit the, let me see what other source. Let's go to Chat GPT, open that app up. And is everyone familiar with like a deep dive, anything of that nature? I hope so. Anywho, but let's type in House Bill 1605, the state of Texas education, and ask it to give us a in-depth review of what this bill means and how it can possibly impact education. Let's do that. We're just having fun with chat today. I always go with the second. I don't know. But let's copy and paste one of those, whichever version you choose. Let's copy that text. We're going to do the same thing with this text. Next. And where it says add source to the left. All right. Yep. We're going to do the same thing, paste it in here. We can paste web pages, anything of that nature, YouTube clips, but I like to do this. Now we have those two sources there. Let's go to refresh. They should. And can you hit the button studio at the top? On the right.
This one? I clicked it.
Yes. So at the bottom, it'll say in the middle, it says, how does Texas, it has that question right there. To your left. And go down where it says start typing. So it has this question right here. And hit that button. And now we get even more detailed notes. We have all this information right here at our fingertips, guys. And that's why I believe AI is a clear partner. But now let's do this, Dr. Dominguez. Hit briefing document to the right.
So I have a little, because I'm sharing my screen, I have to keep moving this little thing out of my way.
Okay.
So I do apologize, but what do you want me to click on?
Briefing document.
Where's that?
Yes, ma'am. Now we have notes off of there and the generate button. Here comes the magic.
Click generate.
So if you're someone not using this aspect, I strongly encourage we get real familiar with this, because this process will allow us to become, well, you'll get, if you're familiar with it, you're familiar with it. It's actually generating us a new podcast over this very topic. This is something I appreciate. Well, I'm glad you went to a training over just a couple of days ago.
This is really helpful though, too, because it's you're going step by step and showing us all the features.
Yes, ma'am.
And I felt like that one was sort of a big, broad overview. So this is great.
Yeah, and I can show you up like, so here's the beauty of this. If any of you going to the gym on a walk in the park, like I love podcasts, but the way in which this is at right now at this level, it seems so natural. It brings the topics to life. And if you hit play, let's take a listen. Let's see what
The Ascent is a fascinating collection of material this time, legislative text, alongside some insightful news analysis, all centered around some pretty significant changes coming to Texas education through House Bill 1605.
Yeah, it's definitely a big piece of legislation.
So for you, our mission today is to really get under the hood of this new law. We want to clarify what these shifts in instructional materials and curriculum actually mean, cutting through
We'll
any
let it run for about a minute.
legislative
Really
thought
want to get some
and
feedback
highlighting
on
the key
this.
takeaways.
Exactly. We've taken a close look at the details of HB 1605 and the discussions surrounding it to bring you a focused understanding of what's changing. Think of this as your direct line to the essential information about the evolving educational landscape in Texas.
Okay, let's unpack this. When we look at HB 1605, what were the main goals the lawmakers were trying to achieve?
Well, the legislation aimed to accomplish several important things. At the forefront was a desire to improve the quality of the learning resources available to students across Texas.
Okay, quality first.
Right. It also looked to increase the
Dr.
financial
Dominguez, can you hit pause?
Provide.
So think about what we just witnessed, and I know they probably gave you a broad overview, but you can literally do any topic out there that you want to know about. And if you're an auditory learner like me or a visual learner like me, this changes the game. So now you can embrace your inner learning ability using AI to grasp any topic that may come across. And if you hit those three buttons to the side, you can right here by the audio, you can download this, save it to your iPhone, take it with you. Now you have a permanent file of information over any topic you have. So think about this. With all the different changes in legislation possibly coming up or anything or any topic that you might not be too sure you're sound in, gravitate to this process. I'm encouraging you to, because this made things a lot easier for me to not only still manage my time using AI to check emails and build different documents, but this process allows for learning to truly take place. Because when you're going through that Audible, if you hit that, this is what I love what it does, Dr. Dominguez. If you hit that timeline button, I know we're almost at a time.
Where's the
'Cause I
timeline?
want to open it. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Timeline right under the briefing document. So and then let's open up that source as soon as it comes up. So I don't know how many of you are aware of what's going on in Texas and things of that nature, but HB 1605, before we start this conversation 20 minutes ago, I'm not sure if this was the primary thing you believe you're going to be discussing and learning. But at this very moment, within less than 15 minutes, you have a podcast, you have a review document, you have a timeline. Can you scroll down a little bit through it? Showing when things took place, who are the people that played a role in it, how it impacts different people. AI is your partner. It is your teammate. And I encourage all of us as educators to capitalize on this because, in my opinion, like I tell my younger, my kiddos and my younger coworkers, there shouldn't be any reason why we're not aware, or not only not aware, but just not able to step in and dive into things that are going around with us in our educational field. So there's several topics. I could talk all day on this, but I like to open it up for a Q&A at this time. Any questions for us over this process?
The chat
So-
says, what tools do you use to analyze data?
So right now, what I do still use, I get the, I'm gonna be honest with you, I use the paid version of ChatGPT. I don't just use the free one. And it has this deep dive method that allow you to really give you some feedback on where you see trends are. I I would display that, but I have a lot of kids' names in there. I don't want to do that at this time, but I do use that feature to help me see, like for example, I'll take our disciplinary data and it'll run a report to let me know when these impacts or when these incidents are mainly happening throughout the day. And because in our system, it tells us the when, where, and it's all these different files all the way coming through. And I just upload those files in the chat. Is everyone familiar with uploading those documents? Like you can now download them or upload them or add them from your drive. I hope so. Because if you're not downloading documents that you're working on into your chat GPT feature, I strongly encourage you to do that, because any document you have, whether it's an Excel spreadsheet, PowerPoint, Word document, upload that into your chat GPT account, and please make sure you have it. I don't work for them. I'm not advertising. I don't work for who it is, Notebook LM. I just want to share with fellow educators what I do.
And then
Which,
one of the things that I like to do is not only do I upload my documents to get like the trends of our data, then I ask GPT like, now help me address this issue, or what are some things that you recommend? And it's just kind of like a virtual little assistant that doesn't talk back, so I greatly appreciate that. But it's very user friendly, and sometimes I do feel like maybe robots are going to take over the world one day, and so I do say please and thank you to it. But there's another
it's going to
question
remember
here.
your account.
Yeah, it's gonna remember me. So remember I was the nice one, said use my manners. So there's another question in the chat that says, how about scheduling?
So we're scheduling what we have a program in Texas that we use as Frontline and Teams, and we run our scheduling through there. And a lot of the questions that we have, it has an AI feature built into it, but that AI feature runs our report and lets us know where the conflicts are, what it recommends on students' choice sheets. Like that's a different AI model that I think from a district standpoint you will purchase to kind of help you look at those conflicts. Now I can take that same data and possibly put it in my chat feature, but I don't know how accurate it is yet. I don't really trust it as far as that goes. But I do now. I will put my master schedule in for high school, or mainly for my middle schools, and I'll run it to see if it can give me any type of feedback of things that it sees, because there may be a teacher requesting an off period or possibly presenting a conflict. Now, for a quick result or quick run, I might use it in that area. Yes, I take it, I download a PDF version of it, say this is what the teacher requesting. And the beautiful thing about ChatGPT, especially if you go ahead and create your account, it stores actually who you are, and it creates like a idea of what field you're in, and it begins to really speak the language in which you need. So when I put in a PDF version of that, and I'll say, are there any flexible options around these contents that I could possibly look at? And especially if I hit that deep dive button, it'll say, give me 20 minutes, I'll get back with you. Let me actually look at this a little longer and see. Or any type of research, I hit that deep research button, a deep dive, and I can get a lot of information. Yeah. Thank you, Shannon.
And then, like Mr. McAdoo was saying, there are lots of websites that are used as far as AI goes. I probably use ChatGPT the most, but I know one of our teachers, we have HMH for English. It's one of our programs, and HMH has Writable, and she really enjoys Writable because it helps her grade the student papers, and so the kids get immediate feedback, and then she is able to take what AI is suggesting that they like, the errors that they're finding or feedback that AI is giving, and then she can also, from her standpoint as a teacher, she can either take an average or just use it as input from from AI, and then kind of come up with feedback to give students. But ChatGPT is what I mostly use, and so sometimes I talk to teachers like, maybe try using ChatGPT to create a lesson plan, or we used it this year to work on our campus improvement plan. And so like one of the things that we were working on was teacher retention, and so I just went to ChatGPT and I was like, help me work on my campus improvement plan for a small to a rural school district, and the goal is to increase teacher retention. And based on that feedback, then you just kind of have conversations. Like you get a prompt, and then you tell it to do something else, and it gives you immediate feedback right away.
All right.